Thanks, Drake, for doing this and taking the time. We wanted to talk more deep to get to people to know you better. Can you share with us how this football journey began for you as a little kid in California?
Yeah, thank you. My football journey began in Sacramento, California. We lived in Sac County, small town. Kind of moved around a bit, but around Orangevale, Fair Oaks, and played for this club called Orangevale, just like Orangevale Soccer Club. First team was called the Nemos. But yeah, I mean, soccer was like my first sport. I played a lot of sports growing up, but soccer was the one that I enjoyed the most. Even when it was baseball season, basketball season, I always look forward to soccer season.
And did you always like to be a goalkeeper? Or did you
Yeah,
play?
I kind of always switched between field and goalkeeper. And I liked the fact that I could go score goals in one half and then go save goals in another half.
So you were a striker?
Yes. Now, back then I liked to run a lot more. But yeah, I would say around I played like rec select leagues through kind of like elementary school, and then got into more like competitive soccer like middle school and high school. And I think kind of the point where I realized goalkeeper was more of like my position was around like freshman, sophomore year of high school. And that was when I really committed to the position as well as to the sport and really trying to pursue a professional career.
I know you signed with the San Jose Earthquakes Academy, right? How was that for you? You talk about you made the decision to pursue soccer, and how did you make the decisions to go to San Jose's Academy?
Yeah, so San Jose Academy, that was like the premier academy in Northern California. And so I had an opportunity to play there, and I was, I wasn't as refined as I am now, very athletic, but joining that team, there was a lot of already really good goalkeepers there that I learned from. Remy Prier, JT Marcinkowski, Luke Dennison, a lot of guys who were more developed than I was, that I would watch at training, that I would learn from. They were great competitors, they were great people, and it helped me push myself to get better, as well as my coach at the time, Henry Falk, who I still am in contact with. We talk a lot. He was a really good mentor, really, really good coach, really pushed me to my edge and helped me really become the best I could possibly become on my terms. There's only so much a coach can do before it's up to the player as well to commit to their craft. And so San Jose was it was just really important for my development in becoming the type of goalkeeper I am today. It helped me get ready for UC Berkeley and college soccer, and a lot of good people there. I actually moved there my senior year, lived with a teammate, so I didn't have to commute from Sacramento to San Jose. And I think that allowed me to focus more on soccer as well as school, because I mean, a 2-hour drive isn't always as sustainable as you'd think. But in the first couple of years, my dad was super influential too, because I would drive with him down there and he would take the time. He dedicated a lot of time and energy and love to help me get to where I am today. So that was super, super, super grateful for that.
And did your parents like soccer before, or they didn't have no idea until you were playing?
I'd say like they enjoyed sports, but I think part of the reason why they liked soccer was because I played soccer. They were super open to me about like what I wanted to play. They let me take swim classes, run track and field, play basketball, baseball, kind of explore everything. And soccer was the thing that I enjoyed most, so they supported me there.
And how did you make that decision? You were in the San Jose Academy, as you were sharing. You made the decision to go to college. Was that important for you? Was that always a goal for you to get your education?
Yeah, it's funny. I only received one offer from a college, and that was Cal. So I was pretty under the radar. I think the coaches saw something in me that other coaches didn't see, and I was extremely grateful to receive an offer from them. And I was like, seems like a pretty good school. At the time, I wasn't super aware of like the magnitude of what kind of school it was, and I accepted it. And I did 3.5 years there, 4 years soccer and 3.5 years in school. Left the last semester to come there to Miami, and what I learned there, the people that I met, the coaches that were there, the players that were there, it was like the best 4 years of my life, just because of the culture of the team, the area. Berkeley was only like an hour and a half away from home. So if I needed to go home, I could go home. My parents could come watch our games. And I just really enjoyed the student athlete life. I embraced it. It was a lot between studying and playing, but there was so many valuable lessons I learned there that helped me succeed at this level.
You're one of the few athletes that have been successful, coming from youth soccer, going to an academy, going to college and studying, and then getting into the first division. Did you feel that change once you got here to Inter Miami? You didn't get to a first team the first year you get here, but you got to a professional. I know you played USL when you were in college also, but how was that change for you?
Yeah, so I think everyone's path to a professional team is different. Some it's sooner, some it's later. Of course, as a goalkeeper, our careers tend to be a bit longer. And so I felt that, even just signing my first contract, I may not even played a game my first year. I don't think I played a single game my first year. But even just getting onto a team, learning about how a professional team works, how it operates, the level of play, the speed of play, how much better the players are, that was very, very, I think, important to experience my rookie year. And it's just kind of one, being patient, but two, just like every single day doing something to get better. I had like that 1% better mentality. I really just tried to be the best teammate, tried to learn as much as I can, and I was just preparing for my moment.
What changes do you think need to be made as you have experienced all this journey to get into being a professional in the U.S. soccer pyramid? Do you think it needs something change, or did you like your journey until here? I bet it was not easy, as you are telling me, being a student and all of that. Would you like to see some changes?
Yeah, I think access. I think that's a key word. Just like access to quality training, access to information about the soccer world. How can we develop more players? How can we tap into all the resources that this country has to help develop soccer players? And of course, we've developed many, many, many good soccer players. But again, why not try and develop even more and be more of a global force when it comes to international competitions? So,
sorry.
Yeah, I was fortunate that this is kind of how it worked out for me. It was hard work. The stars aligned a little bit. Things happened that I couldn't control that were for the better or even for the worse. There's some things that you just don't have control over, and I was just trying to be ready every single day, because once your name gets called, there's only so many opportunities that you may get, and so sometimes as a goalie or as a player, you don't know when that day is going to come, but you better make sure that when that day does come, that you do well, that you do everything you can in your power to take advantage of that opportunity.
How did you react when Inter Miami first called you? You told me you had 6 months left. How did you react? You were talking about taking that opportunity. How did you react? And did you accept at the first moment, or did you think about it?
Yeah, it was the end of my senior season at Cal. We flew up to UW to play one of the last games of the year. I remember getting off the flight, taking my phone off airplane mode, seeing a voicemail in my voicemail box, and it was Paul McDonough pretty much telling me that my homegrown rights got traded to Inter Miami. And I was like, my first thought was like, I've never been to Florida, before realizing, this is David Beckham's team, this is an expansion team, this is like a pretty big deal. And so pretty much through the end of my senior season and once the semester ends, you have some time off, I was just preparing as much as I can, getting ready to move out here and be part of the team. And this would be the first time I'm moving away. I moved to San Jose, I moved to Berkeley, but that was only a few hours away from where I grew up. So moving across the country in a different time zone, different people, different climate, different culture, it was a big switch for me. And so it was just how fast can I adapt to this change? And how fast can I adapt to the pro locker room, to the pro environment, and just make sure that I am adding value to the club in some way, shape, or form.
Was that difficult at first when you got here? The team, an expansion team, as you said, and then COVID hit your first season. Was that hard on you?
Yeah, thinking back, that was kind of crazy, right?
It was.
We got through it, but again, I think, it's unfortunate that aligned with our inaugural season. But again, I guess it happened. I hope it happened for some reason, but it was different because we had a preseason and we were training at Barry University. They were getting the stadium ready. We were in Port St. Lucie, and just going through our preseason games, getting ready for the season, and no one really knew what was coming in March. But once the kind of league shut down for a few months, the protocols to training changed. It was a different pro experience. If you compare how things were being run that year because of COVID versus the following years, it was very different. So we did make it into the playing round that year. I think that was pretty cool to do that, given the circumstances. And I just had to, again, I think adapting is a huge asset to a player, because sometimes there's a coaching change, sometimes there's a player change, sometimes there's always these changes, and it's can you position yourself in a way that's going to help you thrive and help you become better and ensure that you're doing the right things on and off the field to retain your contract and to retain your skills and to retain everything, so then you can just continue to build your career and improve as a player.
And you're talking exactly about that, because after the first year, Diego Alonso left, Luis Robles left. You had shared with us that Luis helped you a lot in that first season. Then came Phil, then came Nick Marsman, and with them came your opportunity, right? How can you remember that time with Phil Neville, the coach that gave you your first opportunity to be a starter after you hadn't had that chance the first year?
Yeah, I think Phil really pushed me. He challenged me every single day. I could have got a clean sheet every single game if Phil would ask for more. That was the kind of coach he was, and that was kind of what pushed me to get better. To get better with my feet, to become a better shot stopper, to become a leader, to become just a better player overall, because every single day I had to prove myself, and it was hard work, it was dedication, it was grit. I think that's a key word too, is grit. Is training in the summer here isn't easy at all, and we had to do it every single day to, one, be prepared, but two, prove why you deserve to be on the field. That's something that I think I learned from Phil a lot, was every day is an opportunity to get better. Every day is an opportunity to earn your spot, to prove to why you deserve to be here. And I took that personally. And so everything from how I structure my lifestyle, to how I conducted myself, to how much I committed to the game, that I could attribute some of that to Phil, because he really showed me when you think you're doing a lot, do more. And when you get there, then just keep challenging yourself to get better.
And once you took, it was a surprise when he showed you to be the starters, and when you took that place, you kept. That's the most important thing for a goalkeeper when they're waiting for a chance, right? So you kept that performances, and you became the number one. How did you manage that change of being the first one? You were the youngest one, and especially a goalkeeper that was brought in from Europe, and you took his place. How did you take that, and how did it help you grow as a player?
Yeah, that was just, again, that was another, it's difficult. Every single day I was competing. Every single day I was competing, and you can get an opportunity. I mean, my opportunity was against Cincinnati. We lost 3-1. That was my debut. It wasn't my best performance, but it was a game where I learned a lot, that I could kind of feel what an MLS game was about. And it wasn't like I did amazing in that game, and so I had a couple more opportunities in Open Cup. A couple injuries happened, and they had to put me in. I felt like I was working a lot to where I could have earned this, but I was the only healthy goalkeeper, and I ended up doing well. and that was something that that was the opportunity. And again, getting opportunity is great, but you have to be able to do it day in, day out, game after game, if you want to solidify your spot there. So, and that's something that is, as a goalkeeper, like, there's a lot of risk, because one play, I've experienced it in my career so far, one play can feel like the end of the world. You know, we're talking about, for example, this year it was CONCACAF Champions Cup, passing the ball to the guy right there and him scoring in a competitive game, knockout game, where it's like, it's a big tournament, you know, and that's something that you have to live with and you have to learn from, because you have to go back and play again next week. And then every time you play these games, it's just, you have to keep on going. And sometimes it works out and sometimes it doesn't. But more or less, you want to be consistent and you want to, you know, play well, because you never know what can happen. So it's just, yeah, I think just controlling the controllables and playing as well as I can, and you know, my name keeps getting called, and that's what I'm grateful for.
And especially now that this is the best team in MLS, number one, with Lionel Messi, with all the stars that are here, do you feel that pressure? You touched on the CONCACAF Champions Cup. Was that a difficult moment? And do you feel that pressure now that you're regarded as the starting goalkeeper of the best team in the league, and the promise that this team has?
Yeah, I wouldn't even call it pressure. I think it's just like, I don't know, I understand that, like, there's a lot of eyes on, like, our club, but, like, if I just think of all the training that I do, all the reps that I've taken, what's gotten me here, then I can approach every game with the confidence of, yeah, I can win this game, we can win this game, I can perform well, I can do my best and help my team win. And so, yeah, it's of course important to learn from what we've been through this year, but almost not think about it too much. You know, there's a reality of it, of like, yes, we have these great players on our team, we're in first place, we've, you know, are kind of the favorites right now, but anything can happen, so we have to stay on our toes, and we have to stay humble, stay grounded, and just keep doing what we've been doing. You know, we don't need to change the formula or change the equation. I think we just need to accept the fact that we're a good team, and we're going to keep on continuing to being a good team if we support each other, we believe in each other, and we buy in to winning a trophy.
What will be your goals right now? You guys made it to the playoffs. You are in first place at, as we said, Supporter Shield, Champion Cup, World Cup Championship that's taking place here next year. Are those your goals? How do you see yourself finishing this year and going on to the next?
Definitely trophies. That's like the main thing, is we want to win trophies, you know. But I think there's other goals too, like how we perform, how we win those trophies, the legacy that we leave by how we perform, how we, you know, again, it comes back to like, how much can you do? Can you do more than what you're doing? You know, how can I be a leader and help, you know, the younger players on my team develop? How can I learn from the guys who have already won multiple trophies in their career? So I think there's different levels to the goals, and I think it's important that, you know, sometimes when I like this analogy of like, when you're trying to summit a mountain, if you focus too much on the peak, you kind of might miss your footing. You may not be in the process of it. So I think our goal is just to stay in the process and stay focused on the little things, because those amount to the big things. And it just, again, trophies, creating a good culture here, leaving a legacy, and representing the club, my family, and my teammates and everyone that supports me in the best way that I can.
And with that, the last one, because if not, Michael is going to kill me right now. I wanted to ask you about your family. You got married, you're expecting a little girl. What does that mean to you, your career? How do they help you? And are you excited of becoming a girl dad? Yeah,
I'm so excited to become a girl dad. I mean, I've been looking forward to being a father for a long time, and to do it with the love of my life is something that I'm extremely grateful for. You know, she honestly like holds it down so much that, you know, I can show up every day and do my best, because we have such a good environment at home. And to be able to raise a family with someone you've been with for a decade is also like a dream come true. You know, we're high school sweethearts. And so just really looking forward to when our little baby girl arrives, and everything I'll learn from her, everything I'll get to share with her, and just yeah, there's only so much I can imagine before, once she's here. It's like I have so many questions. I'm like, what is she gonna look like? What sound is she gonna make? Like all these little things. This will be the first time I'm gonna change a diaper. That's gonna be new for me. So a lot to look forward to, and yeah, it's so many opportunities to grow as just like a person. I get to, brother, son, husband, adding father to the list is something that I'm really looking forward to, and yeah, I really can't wait.
Talking about kids, the last one, I promised Michael your book, because we saw that you came out with a book. You guys with DeAndre Yedlin self-published a book. Can you talk a little bit about that? Because now I'm curious that you're saying you wanted to be a father. Is that something that you guys have been planning, or something that you're always have been inspired to do for kids?
Yeah, the next generation was definitely an inspiration for us, and it was a creative project that we aligned on. We're both into mindfulness, and I feel like we wanted to create something that was gonna inspire the next generation, teach the next generation, and something that we can share with our own families. So it was definitely some of that in the creative process. We were thinking like, I'll be able to read this to, our kids one day, is something that was super important. And yeah, it's again something that I'm passionate about, something that I value, and I can't wait to share it with the world.
Thank you.
Thanks, guys.